All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Make Something Sunday. So here we are. It is Sunday night, right? Sunday night, and we're gonna finish up this painting. So this is a piece that I've been working on for quite a while now, and I think it's about that time to give it the wrap up. We've got the dress down. I just want to do a couple touch-ups on the building, and then we're actually going to start a different painting. We are going to work on a different painting, but just want to touch up a couple places. Actually, you know what? Like, I really feel like this is good to go. Yeah. Here we go. This is all right, actually. Where else would I really need to touch up here? It's a very special painting. We've got, the sides here. We've got our other thing. Uh-oh. Need to get a little brush here and pull off some of the hair. Pull off some hair here. It is Make Something Sunday. Sunday is a great day to make something, to create something, just doing some little touches where I see some minor details, but I think these buildings are the buildings. Painting's not about the buildings after all. So with that, I think we should put this to bed. Maybe. No, we're gonna put this one to bed. I think this one is going to be a wrap. So here we go. I'm just gonna plug in some of my power cables, and then we're gonna start in this other one. What could we still possibly need? Let's see. I'm gonna let this little extra glow come down the side. The ears are good. Got the body. Got the details in the background. I'd love to just keep punching up the plants, but I just don't think it's necessary. We're not going to add too much more as far as beautiful little details if we just keep punching up the details here. Bride and groom look great. So, and we used a significant amount of paint. I'll throw a signature on the back here. So because this is a commission, I will put my name on the back. It's a very specific event, specific occasion. Therefore, I will put my name, signature, on the back of it rather than the front. Well, let's go ahead and grab a little bit of blue here. We're gonna pop over to the back of this. And let's just stick our signature on some surface here. So the top left corner might be good. All right. And let's swap out our paintings now. So we're gonna work on a much bigger painting. Very pretty vision. Thank you, thank you. So can anybody guess what our next painting is gonna be? If you've been to these past few streams, you might have already seen it. Popping up our my stands here, my lock. Painting is bigger than my apartment can handle. So I'm just gonna leave this here for now. I'm gonna put this painting somewhere safe. Now let's get this painting set up here. We're gonna go. This is a pretty large painting. I honestly don't even know if it's a real painting. I'm pretty sure it's another medium, like a print or something, on a very large canvas. Whew, it's pretty heavy too. It's like 50. I want to say it's like 30 pounds. But here we go. We're gonna unlock this and. Let's see. All right. Let's pop this baby down a little bit. Bam. Nice and easy. Is that Mona? Woo-wee. It's somebody. All right, let's bring up our references too. File, open, recent. And here we go. So I'm gonna lock in some of our supplies here. I want this to be nice and straight for me. So let's lock this all in. Locked in, locked in. And then I want the canvas to be straight, so. All right, we've got all our locks nice and locked in. Now let's go ahead and bring this back a little bit. Trapped. I want to have easier access to my door. This doesn't even sit. There we go. Let's see. All right, does it look like it's settled nicely? Here we go. You love that frame? Thanks, Michael. If you buy it, you got it. The painting is included. So I'm just gonna have it centered like this. What's that stuff down there? Oh, that's one of my paintings. And I'm just gonna have it centered like this. And that's how we'll paint from here. The painting is a fire hazard. You think so? You think it could cause a fire? Yeah, well, in my apartment, yeah. I have to, can't really escape that easily. It's so big, it's a hazard. That's right. The things we do for art. Let's see, if this door can open, I'll be happy. So, you know what? I gotta move it to my left just a little bit more. If I can get it out my door and squeeze by, I'm good. So, there we go. My door, I can squeeze by my door. I've got a little bit, got about a couple inches of space. And we're gonna make this work. Acrylics don't catch on fire, it's water-based. Sure. This frame is about 40, so the painting I measured the other day, just the is about 48, so 4 feet by 3 feet. This painting is about 4 feet. Yeah, all right, so let's get started here. We're gonna go with a big brush. Let's do a nice big brush here. And let's go, what do we want to do? We're going to set this down, lock it in. It's not going to do very much, but we just want to lock it in. And I'm, you know, one thing that's fun is really testing the limits of this canvas, or you know, because it's a big canvas. It's a this easel. This easel could fit up to 86 inches. But what's the point of having an 86-inch painting if, like, side to side, it doesn't really stay still, right? So I'm kind of testing the limits. The most I can imagine is doing about a 4 foot by 6 foot, 7 foot painting, maybe. That's probably the limits of how far I would really take a painting. So let's go ahead and grab this color. I'm gonna go yellow ochre mineral spirit. And then we're gonna go some white. Let's go white on this. Whitest ochre I could get. Have some girth for it to work properly, right? Gotta have some girth. Gotta get the girth. So we're just going to start bringing in highlights here. It's an interesting angle because the light's actually pretty decent on it. Let me see. Can everybody see? Can we see? All right, so I'm working on her. I might as well do it from this side. Let me paint from a different angle. Why not? Let me go from a different angle here. You know what? I can't do that. I'm just trying to see how I can allow everybody to look at this while I'm painting. Is this visible? Yeah, why not? All right. Let me see the dimension of her nose here. So her nose is just past the eye, like right there. And let's go get some more of this highlight here. We can keep pushing with this color. So this is a really light ochre color. Let's go right on the chin here. Should go around the cheek. This is really difficult for me because when I look over my reference, I'm looking at it from a different angle. But let's go like this, bring this down. Keep this. Really, the goal is to make it look like more of a human being from here. Rather than a Gamora. She's kind of looking like Gamora right now. Anybody know who Gamora is from Guardians of the Galaxy? She's got Gamora vibes right now. That's not what I'm going for, but I could just call this Gamora and call it a day. Add a little bit more of this yellow ochre. Move my reference so there's more in front of me. You know what I could do? Maybe I could turn this sideways. In order for the reference to be in front of me, it has to be a little sideways. So let me see how I can do that. That's actually a good idea, Michael. I'm not doing exactly as you say because I refuse to do anything Michael says. I'm just kidding. Michael has a good idea. I'm going to take it. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to rotate it at an angle. And I think, unfortunately, I think the figure might be a little further away. But if I turn it at an angle, I think at least I can paint easier with my reference. I'm doing it for myself, not for any of you. Kidding. A lot of the things I do for a lot of you. So let's see, if we get at an angle here, get this at an angle, not only can I pop in and out, but y'all can't see this anymore though, can you? Can't really see that. But it is important for me to have the reference. Let's see. really see that anymore. You know what? Let me try another one, another way. How about like right here? I mean, the point of having a rolly easel is so that you can move it around and manipulate it. So, you know, why not? Let's just make this one work. This is a little better. Yeah, this is better no matter any way you put it. I just thought it was easier if I put it up against our chair. So then it won't be moving around. Let me put these locks in place. Oh, good thing I'm thin. All right, is that good? Can y'all see? All right, so we're just gonna go in here and I'm gonna do very subtle. Yeah, it's funny how dependent I am on references. I am so dependent on my references. I'm just realizing that right now. So dependent on my references. So we're gonna come into here, tighten up this chin. When I did this painting, I was like, what's the funniest thing I could possibly do on this painting here? But not like laugh out loud, hilarious, lose your mind kind of funny. Just like as an artist. Having fun. What's the most significant thing? And that was the person who gifted me this wonderful, wonderful frame and painting. How can I paint them into it in a funny way? Come down like right into here, and let's get some highlights into this section here. You know, I should probably be using a slightly bigger brush here. How big of a brush? How big do we want to go? You see more? Is that better? Less twisting around? Put a bag over her head. I could do that. Or I could just paint it like a normal person might go. Alright, let's see. I got this huge... What happened to my second largest round brush? That's what I'm looking for right now. My second largest round brush. I got this big old brush, but I want one size lower. And I think I have one, but... Here we go. Here's the brush I'm looking for. See? So 3 separate brushes. This is my Princeton Catalyst brush, and this is an Utrecht brand, and then this is my Royal and Langnickel jumbo brush. But I really don't really have any use. I rarely have a use for this super jumbo one, except if I'm going after it. It's kind of dusty right now. But I think this one's going to get the job done a little bit better. Slightly bigger brush. So let's get into these paints here. And let's just paint down into the highlights. Get the highlights right along the top of the chest here. I haven't seasoned this brush, which means dipping it in oil, giving it a nice giving it a nice oily start. All right, let's keep going. We're gonna grab this white. And then we're just gonna go well, a little bit too yellow, but that's okay. We're gonna come around in shadows with this. Let's go around with the shadow part of it. We can add this as a transition space here. Bring in a dab of yellow here. Just a little dab of yellow. I'm just gonna push that off to the side. It's like reduce the shadow here. And let's see how this comes across on the front of the face. There we go. This brush might be a little too big for now. This might have been good at the beginning for this first step, which is what I actually think I used it for. But I think these next details actually probably need my last brush the first brush that I started this painting with. It's probably perfect size, except for these larger areas. These larger areas definitely require, I don't know, use the right brush for the right tool for the right purpose. You will always find your way. Let's find some shadow. We're gonna go with a raw sienna shadow here. Let's come across the front. Let's go like this. We're going to go across the top of this. Keep our reds on the edge here. Have this nice transition with the two arms. Go straight to the bottom. Yo, bro's the next Bob Ross. You can call me Rob Boss. Rob Boss. Rob the Boss Man. I don't think anyone who watches my live stream for a long time will ever call me boss, but let's see, we're gonna come around like this, bring this, and then, by the way, for the record, anybody watching this right now, I did not paint this landscape scene, okay? I'm painting over it. This is painted by somebody else. So if you're waiting for a Bob Ross, I don't know, I don't paint landscapes in my apartment really. If I want to paint a landscape, I usually try to go outside. Let's see, one finger is missing because her hand, the angle of her hand. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. One finger is missing. She's not there. Okay, let's go. Yeah. That's apparently a thing, Dave, is people painting over like paintings that they find at Goodwill. So the person that gave me this, the reason they got the idea and wanted me to paint dinosaurs was because they were like, they had a friend that actually made paintings of paintovers like I'm doing now, and they're like, dude, paint some dinosaurs. That would be hilarious. So he just gave it to me. And I agree, it's pretty funny. Let's go into some of these dinosaurs here. We're gonna add some more shape into the dinosaurs. I don't actually know if dinosaurs are shaped like this. I'm making it up a little bit. It's a little bit bright. Let's add a little bit of let's bring in our burnt umber here. I feel like their knees would be a bit more pointy. Let's go with this other one up here. Let's give it a bit more dimension. This other one up here, probably under the feathers, right? Or under the wings, I should say. The wings of an angel, under the wings of an angel. Just kind of tighten that up. This is where I should look up, where I should start doing some James Gurney studies. James Gurney, amazing dinosaur artist. If you ever want to paint dinosaurs, James Gurney is the way to go. I'm making these dinosaurs up, by the way. I think it would be funny if I painted, like, you know, there's this beautiful painting, and then there's this great portrait, and then there's a bunch of like loosely painted dinosaurs. That'd be funny, right? Let's see where we at. We're on the T-Rex right now. Let's do this T-Rex. And then this T-Rex is gonna have starting to come around. Starting to see, getting the details here. The details are coming around. Nice chunky dinosaurs, very well fed. And let's go with this dark green over the top here. Everybody knows dinosaurs are green, right? I'm gonna make up a dinosaur. This dinosaur has a horn. It's like a T-Rex with a horn. How many dinosaurs do you think we actually have wrong? If I show, how many dinosaurs do people here, do the viewers think that, you know, we don't quite hit the mark as far as like how the dinosaur looks? It's probably quite a few. It's probably at least a good number of dinosaurs that don't actually look the way that that they did. If you even believe in dinosaurs. Does anybody here not believe in dinosaurs? It's okay if you don't. No judgment. Clean off this brush. Who's sending inappropriate messages? Yo, Dave. Dave, always getting writing the inappropriate messages here. All right, let's get out our raw umber again, and we're actually gonna pop out our portrait palette set. So this is a portrait palette set I just got the other day. This is by the Zen Art Supplies company, and I decided to get this because one thing, they have beautiful packaging. So if you're looking for a gift for an oil painter, Zen Art makes some wonderfully packaged paintings or paint oil paints. And what's great is they actually come with a, like, they come with color palettes, and that's their thing. And as far as packaging goes and everything, I haven't tested out the quality of the paints yet. I've not yet tested out the quality of the paint, but you know, I can guess that they're probably pretty good. You know, if they put this much into packaging, I think that, you know, it's probably going to be a pretty high quality product, because I typically just buy tubes by themselves, and these are actually pretty good looking. So what I want right now is I want a I set this down right here? I'll probably set this, jam it in here. Let's just jam this in here. All right. I want this trusty handy dandy raw umber. Let's pull out our raw umber, which is a very dark brown. Almost a black. Oh my goodness, look at this. They even have a little metal cover on it. That's pretty good, actually. They have a little cover on it. You don't see that very often on oil paints. If ever. I can't say, I don't know the last time I actually had to peel these off. I mean, I almost want to say it might even be annoying, but I can already see now there's quite a bit of oil in there at the top. So maybe they use extra oil. I don't know if it's like filler or whatever. I haven't done the full chemical analysis of this paint, but so far so good, right? If anything, if you're just buying a gift for another artist, you know, this is already a pretty solid series. So you can see this, there's some liquid in there, which, you know, that's pretty much all oil paints, is there's going to be some liquid. But what usually defines like a good one versus a bad one is if it all comes out as liquid versus if it's just a little bit of liquid. And so far it seems pretty good. You know, it's pretty dense. It's pretty dense in there after the first tube. And here's the other thing too. So usually the tubes are made out of this heavy duty metal. And when you get the metal, so like Lucas, you know, with these metal, like not metal, but like this container that's like this tube container that's made out of something, I don't know what it's made out of. But this tube feels a little bit more flexible, which I think might make it a bit more, when I'm trying to squeeze out all the paint, it might do a better job. Because other tubes, like the regular tubes that are made out of like a metal, will eventually crumple. And then this crumpling makes it a little difficult to get some of the colors out. So it might be a benefit. I don't know yet. We're still testing that out. Let's go ahead and get some of our umber here. We're gonna just get into the hair with some shadow. So we're just gonna paint some nice deep shadow into the hair here. Just gonna go around. Just go around. I think it's doing a good job of having like a separate, nice, really nice dark brown. It's actually looking pretty decent. So we're gonna go like this. Actually looking pretty good. So I posted, it doesn't smell too bad. Let's smell it. By the way, this is the only reason I'm smelling this is because it's pigment with oil. No real scent. I wouldn't do this with mineral spirits, by the way. I wouldn't actually sniff it with mineral spirits, or like, you know, don't sniff paint. But, you know, all oil paint is oil, aka linseed oil, which you can actually use for your cooking. And linseed oil and pigment. So obviously you don't want to inhale the particulate matter, but if it's dispersed in oil, you're not going to be inhaling it. Unless the only way you can inhale it is if you like do something crazy like try and ground it and then dry it out and then get all of the inhale all of the particulates, which that you don't want to do. Don't do that. That's very bad for you. So just capturing some of the hair details here. Going with some real subtle transition. Sticking with our burnt umber. I'm using my Zen Art burnt umber. Is it a coincidence that I'm coughing now? Just moments after I sniffed my paint. Again, don't do that. Just, I honestly, I don't think oil paint in general has an issue with that, because, you know, it is oil just with stuff in it, but you know your materials, right? This is gonna come around, come down. Modify this cheek a little, and then get this area around the outside of the hair nice and dark. And let's see where else we could find some good shadows. Want a nice separation right here. Nice separation around her face. And where else can we find some nice deep shadows? So a little bit of extra shadow. Doesn't need to be too deep right there, actually. Let's go with a slightly lighter shade. I'm going to mix this with a raw sienna, burnt sienna, and we're going to get something a little bit lighter as far as our brown goes. And this is just going to create like a little transition on the top here, a little transitional color to mix in with the brown. Get some highlight into it. Let's go around. I'm really just using like pretty much like one brush for these effects here. So this is one of my favorite brushes. I just found out that Amazon sells them individually. Previously, I had to buy. So this one I got with a pack. So this is Princeton Catalyst, and you know, you could tell that it's the Princeton brand that you could get. It has the black tip with the black bristles. And for some reason, the flat tips, here's the thing. I think the flat tips are a little bit too dense. They're synthetic, and I think they're a little too dense for oil paints. So I don't really use the flat tips for the majority of applications here. I don't use the majority of these flat tips. But I bought one more small one, and I have two more coming at different sizes because I can't wait to finally get this at different sizes because I absolutely love this brush. I got a bunch of different sizes. But I just feel like these, as far as this brush goes, it's great because it can pick up a lot of paint. It's synthetic fiber, it's heavy duty, and if you paint roughly like I do, like, you know, you're constantly jamming the brush into the canvas and you're like really rough, or you're taking up lots of paint, you're just going nuts with it like I paint, then, you know, it helps to have a brush that can handle that roughness. And honestly, I'm not even that rough compared to some other artists. But the fact is, here's the thing. So here's the other competitor brush that I also really like. So a couple competitor brushes. So Rosemary, let's take a look. I'm gonna put these away. The only thing you need to know is that as far as Princeton Catalyst, you can buy them in two forms. You can buy these individually, or I think that just started, or you can buy them in a pack, which is, you know, they come with like different pieces. But I really only like the round pointed versions of these brushes. But let's look at my other favorite brush from a competitor brand, or an alternative brand, I should say. I always gotta be careful with my words now because I stream on Amazon Live and they don't like certain words. But alternative brands, I use Rosemary Co. Pointed Round Series 272. I say this is an alternative because I absolutely love the bristles here. So there's like two different purposes for this. I can actually pick up a lot of paint with this, but I can pick up much more paint with this. I can't be as rough with these because if I start jamming this into the canvas, this is made of badger hair. Badger hair is very fine. It picks up and holds oil very well, but I can't be rough with it. I can't just like be jamming it onto the canvas. So, you know, there's some things that I could do with this brush right here, which is the Princeton Catalyst brush as a synthetic fiber. And there's some things that I can do better with this. So what this is better for, the Rosemary's Series 272, it's much better if you're like for traditional, just super fine detail oil painting where you're glazing, you know, and you're just spreading paint ever so gently. And you're just like trying to create smooth, even surfaces, and you're just, you know, working gently with oil paint. That oil paint is absolutely fantastic for, I mean, this Rosemary Co. 272 brush. And it's actually pretty good at picking up paint and holding it too. But as far as the majority of applications, I love my Rosemary or my Princeton Catalyst. My Princeton Catalyst. So I haven't quite worn this one down yet. I'm surprised it's kept its tip. It's done a really great job of keeping its tip. But the problem is, you kind of have to, like, in my opinion, although I'm saying it's like too stiff, sometimes it can be too stiff. But like once you break it down a little bit and you like put it in its place, it just has this amazing quality of this in between with too stiff and like other stuff. But May, nice dinosaur, though my brushes are not in camera most of the time when I'm demonstrating them. Do watch out where the camera is focusing on. Thank you, May. Yes, I'm so glad you let me know, because pretty much every day when I like look back on my live stream, and sometimes I see that like my head's blocking the view or my hat's blocking the view, and no one has said anything. I'm like, why doesn't anybody say anything? So thank you for letting me know, May. Really appreciate that. Really helps to know how things are working, how things are going. All right, so this actually needs to fall a little bit closer to the face here, like much closer to the face. So we're gonna make this fall much closer to the face here. You know what? There's nothing wrong with a little bit of extra volume. But let's go with our raw burnt umber here, and we're gonna come around the outside. We're just gonna give her some hints of red. Little hints of red here. Burnt sienna is like a brown red, like a really dark brown red. That's what burnt sienna is. Or burnt umber. Is this burnt umber or what is it? No, I think it's a raw sienna. I forget my darker. Burnt sienna. It's a burnt sienna. And here we go. So we're gonna come down, bring this, and hair is gonna be just ever so just dropping, coming around, coming around. My hair is in the brush. Let's actually go with our raw umber again, and we're going to fill out the density of our hair here. So the density of our hair is actually going to come all the way around. Nice dense hair here. We're going to come all the way around to the front. Get our hair down nice and low. And what can we do about the face here? Okay, so we got to do some stuff about the face. Now I will say, as far as this brush goes, compared to this brush, because it's a little stiffer, even though it's my favorite brush, I really love laying down paints and having texture with it, but it will leave a lot of streaks. So if you want something smoother, you got to use like a much finer hair brush. You won't this brush I won't be using for smoothness. Old school Dave. Wow, you don't know what Amazon Live is? So Amazon Live is a streaming, the next big streaming platform, because not only, and you're here at a good time, because this is really good knowledge if you've ever wanted to do streaming. So Amazon Live allows you to sell products directly on Amazon. So you could essentially start your very own product company or whatever, and make videos about it. And you can do that all directly from Amazon Live, offering your products directly on Amazon Live. How amazing is that? That just blows my mind. It is game changing as far as live streaming goes. And it's actually been around for a while. If you've it's been around for a while, but the only reason I haven't used it is because they just finally released the app they only just recently released the app for what do you call it? For Android. It's been an app. It's been exclusively Apple for I don't know how long, an absurd amount of time. But they just released it for Android. So there we go. Absurd amount of time. Crazy. For years. I want to say it was years. What kind of company like Amazon releases anything that only Apple users can do? That's that's a huge. I mean, I know I get it's a huge audience, but it's that was the only thing that could have gotten me to buy an Apple, become an Apple or Mac user. I know I'm outing myself as a total computer geek as opposed to a design and tech mogul, but I like Androids. I like Androids. Samsung. I am a Samsung house. Actually, no. Yeah. All three of my phones are Samsungs. I'm a Samsung home. Well, actually, my girlfriend uses Apple. She loves Apple products. Nothing against Apple. Apple's great. Amazing company. It's just, I don't like the idea of being locked in. I never liked it, and I just don't get how people would ever do that. But you know, you can't deny the amazing branding that is Steve Jobs and Tim Cook. I wonder if you could tell whether someone is an Apple user or a Android user based on the type of artwork that they make. I feel like there could be an argument that's made. So here we go. Did everyone just leave to go see if Amazon, how Amazon Live works? Is that why everybody got quiet? All right, we're gonna add a little highlight right on the bottom of her cheek here. And let's go over the top of the hand with some highlights here. So the top of the hand, we're gonna come around, paint over this. Let's come around the front just a little bit past the thumb. And let's go and then let's see, we're going to come around with the knuckles here. What you doing, kitties? Scout, you trying to escape? Scout, you had enough of us? If you got enough of us, just say it. Just say it, man. I can handle it. I can handle that you don't love us anymore. Talking to my cat. Scout is my cat. He is a black cat, aka a void. And he brings me lots of joy. Okay. Let's go on this side. All right. And here we go, building up our figure here. Let's actually use a little bit of black. We're gonna come right into the shadows right in here. Everybody see? Yeah, it's a little too dark, but you know what? Eventually we will. I need to figure out how I'm going to dramatize this, because her dress is a really bright white and silver dress. It's very flashy, and I don't want to have. I want to give it a classic look that enhances shadows. You know, that nice classic shadow enhancement. So let's maybe add some really deep shadow into this part of her hair right here. and play with some shadow. And then even into here, let's darken the space here a little bit. And let's start to try to find some transitions. Need some good transition colors, which just the ever so subtlest like ochre might do. So let's try to modify this little part of the face right here. Maybe a little bit more brown. Let's bring some of this raw umber. And let's go start to add in some shadows. So add in some shadows around my head here. Maybe make softer shadows. Definitely need to soften this one. And then blend it. Let's go. Right under the eye, right into the eye right here. That's the eye right there. I'm going to come around. And it's going, all right, so I had a phone call just now. I don't know who it was. Let's go like this. We're gonna go right into the lip. Let's come in here right underneath the fingers. Kitties, what are you doing? Oh, I see something. Something's got their attention. Just give the softest pink. On the bottom. And give this little outline along the top here. go transition. I at least want to get a second layer down on this. I'm gonna get a second layer down here. And let's go ahead and just blend this in. Just gonna throw this paint in here. Now we're gonna clean off this. You know, let's start throwing down. She's got all these like sequins or whatever you call them, and that's what makes this painting a little bit quite a challenge. Got all these little sequins, but I don't want to make it overly white sequence, so I have to find like a nice in between, like an off yellow. So otherwise it's just gonna be too bright. So we're gonna have this, and we're gonna bring this down. Just gonna throw these down right from the get-go, just so we have it. And I think I've redesigned her arm. So here's a challenge. So the arm is actually holding up a phone, like a selfie. And this is what it looks like. What it's supposed to look like is the arm's supposed to disappear. But obviously I messed up a couple things as far as the overall structure of everything. So, you know, I have to make it look like her arm's actually hanging at the side. So I have to change up a couple things. I might have to like make it up, but honestly, it's probably not that difficult. I can make up this little, I can make up a little swirl. A little swirl around the bicep here, a little swirl. And another little swirl around her forearm. I'm gonna find a nice contrasting brown right now. under the nostril here. And what do we have? Let's see, we got one finger. And the other one pretty much comes down like right here around the other knuckle. Let's do something here now. I need to do something about area around the hand because I'm kind of it's pretty much at a place where I can work this. So I want to get a nice gray to shape the hand a little better. Is this, no, that's a little bit too dark, probably. That's a fairly matching gray. We're basically painting over the hands, you know, just so we can finalize some of the detail here. Because a lot of times, like if you're painting something, or at least that's just me, like, you know, if I'm painting something and I just doing the background around the space around an object can bring so much identity to the painting that you could have been losing if you had just painted in the space around what you're painting. So the first two fingers, and then the last one just kind of like disappears. You know, all of them just disappear. So I'm just gonna go like this. I'm gonna trust my instinct here. Let's grab a bit of white. I posted on a Reddit called "What is this painting?" and I wanted to find out like who painted this piece. And the first response that someone gave was like, "Oh dear." They're like, "That is horrendous. What someone painted over this? Painted over? Absolutely horrendous." I feel like was their reaction. It was pretty horrendous. I think we're getting, you know, to a certain point now where it loses its horrendousness. But I just think the reaction was funny. Hilarious reactions. It does make me wonder, should I paint her hand with like two of her fingers hidden, or what? Or if it'll just like look kind of unusual. I don't know. Let's just drag down some colors here. I'm wondering what's like another dinosaur I could put in this. I feel like I could add like a brontosaurus. I'm gonna add like a brontosaurus. Let's find a green. I think that's its name, the brontosaurus, the dinosaur with the really long neck. How big would the brontosaurus be? Can they reach the top of the tree? I'm just gonna imagine that they could reach the top of a tree. So brontosaurus there. Hey, what's up? Kathleen Roy is in the room. Kathleen Roy. All right, let's go. We're gonna add a brontosaurus. And then maybe a little velociraptor drinking some water. A little velociraptor drinking some water. Oh, this is big white. I think this is a good spot to put it. What does a velociraptor look like? So if their head is in the water, it's probably stretched out. Do an extra long tail right there. All right. Hey, yeah, okay. I'll probably take a break in a few minutes. You're going to bed right at 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I guess it's getting late there. And where else? I think I just like have every possible dinosaur here. Let's add some footprints. Some nice deep footprints. Why would a dinosaur walk on a path? I don't know. I don't have any answers for that. There should be way more dinosaur footprints, but we're just gonna run with it, okay? So we're throwing in some footprints, some big dino prints in the grass. Got a little baby dino right there. Maybe we'll do a couple of dino eggs peeking out from somewhere. Let's give them a brown color. Eggs are like a yellow brown. They're never like, you know, real eggs aren't all white. So we're gonna go with a nice egg that's a little off camera here, off the canvas. Let's grab another one. We're gonna do another one, laying on its side here. And let's do another one like cracked open. look like rocks right now, but you know, just setting up the layout of everything here. Who's living in this house? I have no clue. Dinosaurs that live among us. It's like one of every dinosaur. Can't have 100 dinosaurs, only one of every dinosaur. Oh, you know what? Now I think it's a good time for a break. Gotta take a little break here, people. Can really, I paint in spurts. Little spurts of time. We are going to close up our supplies here. But those of you that were here, thanks so much for being around. And we're gonna, yeah, let's close up our supplies. Evening. Might be back later, probably not, but it's always a chance that inspiration might strike again. But we've got some of the details. We've got a little bit of story. Got some story going on. It's a little bit too rustic and beautiful to have dinosaurs around in this painting, but hey, they're here. They're around. Dinosaurs live amongst ancient people. So we're just going to keep it at that. And let's see. I'm going to keep this person's signature on here for a little bit. Honestly, I feel like these eggs would actually be a lot bigger. They were sitting like right there, but maybe not. Anyway, let's take a break and have a good night, everybody.